Hadīth 1. Narrated Abu Hurairah, I heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, by him in whose hands my life is. Were it not for some men who dislike to be left behind and for whom I do not have means of conveyance, I would not stay away from any holy battle. I would love to be martyred in Allah's cause and come to life, and then get martyred and then come to life, and then get martyred and then get resurrected, and then get martyred. Hadīth 2. Narrated Al-A'raj, Abu Hurairah said, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, by him in whose hand my life is I would love to fight in Allah's cause, and then get martyred and then resurrected, come to life, and then get martyred and then resurrected, come to life, and then get martyred and then resurrected, come to life, and then get martyred and then resurrected, come to life. Abu Hurairah used to repeat those words 3 times and I testify to it with Allah's oath. Hadīth 3. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if I had gold equal to the mountain of Uhud, I would love that before 3 days had passed, not a single dinar thereof remained with me if I found somebody to accept it, excluding some amount that I would keep for the payment of my debts. Hadīth 4. Narrated Aisha, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if I had formerly known what I came to know recently, I would not have driven the hadi with me and would have finished the state of ihram along with the people when they finished it. Hadīth 5. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, we were in the company of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and we assumed the state of ihram of Hajj and arrived at Makkah on the 4th of Dhul Hijjah. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered us to perform the tawaf around the Kaaba and Ṣaḥīḥ, between As-Safa and Al-Marwa and use our ihram just for Umrah, and finished the state of ihram unless we had our hadi with us. None of us had the hadi with him except the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and Talha. Ali came from Yemen and brought the hadi with him. Ali said, I had assumed the state of ihram with the same intention as that with which Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, had assumed it. The people said, how can we proceed to Mina and our male organs are dribbling? Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if I had formerly known what I came to know latterly, I would not have brought the hadi, and had there been no hadi with me, I would have finished my ihram. Suraka bin Malik met the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while he was throwing pebbles at the Jamrat al-Aqaba, and asked, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Is this permitted for us only? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, replied, no, it is forever. Aisha had arrived at Makkah while she was menstruating, therefore the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered her to perform all the ceremonies of Hajj except the tawaf around the Kaaba, and not to perform her prayers unless and until she became clean. When they encamped at Al-Batha, Aisha said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. You are proceeding after performing both Hajj and Umrah while I am proceeding with Hajj only? So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered Abdur-Rahman bin Abu Bakr as-Siddiq to go with her to At-Tanim, and so she performed the Umrah in Dhul Hijjah after the days of the Hajj. Hadīth 6. Narrated Aisha, one night the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was unable to sleep and said, would that a righteous man from my companions guarded me tonight. Suddenly we heard the clatter of arms, whereupon the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, who is it? It was said, I am Sa'd, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. I have come to guard you. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, then slept so soundly that we heard him snoring. Abu Abdullāh said, Aisha said, Bilal said, would that I but stayed overnight in a valley with Idkir and Jalil, 2 kinds of grass, around me, that is, in Makkah. Then I told that to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadīth 7. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, not to wish to be the like except of 2 men. A man whom Allah has given the knowledge of the Qur'an and he recites it during the hours of night and day, and the one who wishes says, if I were given the same as this man has been given I would do what he does, and a man whom Allah has given wealth and he spends it in the just and right way, in which case the one who wishes says, if I were given the same as he has been given I would do what he does. Hadith 8. Narrated on us, if I had not heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, you should not long for death, I would have longed for it. Hadith 9. Narrated Qais, we went to pay a visit to Khabbab bin al-Arat and he had got himself branded at 7 spots over his body. He said, if Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, had not forbidden us to invoke Allah for death, I would have invoked for it. Hadith 10. Narrated Sa'd bin Ubayd, the Mawla of Abdur-Rahman bin Azhar, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, none of you should long for death, for if he is a good man, he may increase his good deeds, and if he is an evildoer, he may stop the evil deeds and repent. Hadith 11. Narrated Al-Barā bin Azib, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was carrying earth with us on the day of the battle of Al-Ahzab, Confederates, and I saw that the dust was covering the whiteness of his abdomen, and he, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was saying, O Allah! Without you, we would not have been guided, nor would we have given in charity, nor would we have prayed. So, O Allah, please send tranquility, sakinah, upon us as they, the chiefs of the enemy tribes, have rebelled against us. And if they intend affliction, that is, want to frighten us and fight against us, then we would not flee but withstand them. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to raise his voice with it. Hadith 12. Narrated Abdullāh bin Abi Awfa, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not long for meeting your enemy, and ask Allah for safety, from all sorts of evil. Hadith 13. Narrated Al-Qasim bin Muhammad, Ibn Abbas mentioned the case of a couple on whom the judgment of Li'an had been passed. Abdullāh bin Shaddad said, was that the lady in whose case the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if I were to stone a lady to death without a proof against her? Ibn Abbas said, no. That was concerned with a woman who, though being a Muslim, used to arouse suspicion by her outright misbehavior. Hadith 14. Narrated Atā, one night the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, delayed the Isha prayer, whereupon Umar went to him and said, the prayer, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. The women and children have slept. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came out with water dropping from his head, and said, were I not afraid that it would be hard for my followers, or for the people, I would order them to pray Isha prayer at this time. Various versions of this hadith are given by the narrators with slight differences in expression but not in content. Hadith 15. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, were I not afraid that it would be hard on my followers, I would order them to use the siwak, as obligatory, for cleaning the teeth. Hadith 16. Narrated on us, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, fasted al-Wisal on the last days of the month. Some people did the same, and when the news reached the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, if the month had been prolonged for me, then I would have fasted Wisal for such a long time that the most exaggerating ones among you would have given up their exaggeration. I am not like you, my Lord always makes me eat and drink. Hadith 17. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, forbade al-Wisal. The people said, to him, but you fast al-Wisal. He said, who among you is like me? When I sleep, at night, my Lord makes me eat and drink. But when the people refused to give up al-Wisal, he fasted al-Wisal along with them for 2 days and then they saw the crescent, whereupon the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if the crescent had not appeared I would have fasted for a longer period, as if he intended to punish them herewith. Hadith 18. Narrated Aisha, I asked the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, about the wall, outside the Kaaba, is it regarded as part of the Kaaba? He replied, yes. I said, then why didn't the people include it in the Kaaba? He said, because, your people ran short of money. I asked, then why is its gate so high? He replied, your people did so in order to admit to it whom they would and forbid whom they would. Were your people not still close to the period of ignorance, and were I not afraid that their hearts might deny my action, then surely I would include the wall in the Kaaba and make its gate touch the ground. Hadīth 19. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, but for the emigration, I would have been one of the Ansar, and if the people took their way in a valley or a mountain pass, I would take the Ansar's valley or the mountain pass. Hadīth 20. Narrated Abdullāh bin Zayd, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, but for the emigration, I would have been one of the Ansar, and if the people took their way in a valley or a mountain pass, I would take Ansar's valley or their mountain pass.